For record purposes, let me set the record straight. Firstly, I think the state conceded 1 and not 4 as per the objection raised by Advocate. I perused the evidence in chief and the word after was not used, Advocate Odes. I've checked, and then Advocate Matthews, with regards to your objection, indeed, the evidence of the witness was he found that the number on SBA 249 did not match any of the other rifles or provided in the exhibit. Are we all on the same page now? Thank you. Thank you. Then we may proceed.
Worship, with the leave of the court, I proceed to commence with the case of accused number 1. Your Worship, I call accused number 1 to testify.
Sorry, excuse me. In my rush, I'm reading everything I have to read in a short space. I left the charge sheet on my desk and then I leave it with you. Here? Not the charge. It will literally take me 1 second to take it off my table. Just a second. Just take a seat, please. Excuse me. Thank you. Are we going to have any need for the TV at this stage? Okay, it's just, let me just move. No, it's fine if we're going to use it. It's just difficult, but no, Advocate Otis, it's fine. I've moved my chair so I can see the witness. It's fine. Okay. The witness, may you state your full names and surname for the record, please?
Julius Malema.
Do you have any objection in taking the prescribed oath?
No.
Do you then swear that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Thank you.
Now proceed. Mr. Malema, you are accused number 1 in this matter, arising from an incident at the stadium on the 28th of July 2018. Watching the worship's pen as an indication when to talk, can you please tell the court what you were doing at the stadium on that night?
Well, on the day in question, we were celebrating the anniversary of the EFF, and as expected during the day, there will be a cultural activity where local groups and local artists will be given opportunity to perform just before the arrival of the president of the EFF, who happened to be me. And after my arrival, the formal program will start where messages of support, opening prayers, and all of that will take place until the main speech by the president.
Mr. Malema, this is called the record slow. I'm trying to record everything. I'm so sorry, Mr. Malema.
Maybe not to interrupt. I can keep up with the pen, but if I get stuck, and I'll nod or indicate.
You explained that there were meetings, there were local artists performing, and the main event was you, in your capacity as the president of the EFF, coming to do a formal address.
Yes.
What anniversary were you celebrating?
I can't remember. Was the 5th anniversary or something? I've had so many after. The organization sustained its life. The latest, biggest one was in FNB Stadium, where no less than 100,000 people attended. So I think it's the 5th anniversary. I've been coming to this court for the past 5 years now.
It was the 5th anniversary of the EFF. It was scheduled to take place in the stadium that's known as Sisa Dukazi Stadium in Blantyre. Do you confirm that?
Yes, I do.
Now, can you take us through the steps from your arrival to your speech and through your speech at the 5th anniversary celebration, please?
So when I arrive at the stadium, we do what we call rounds. So I go around the stadium, greeting the crowds. The purpose of going around the stadium is to come closer to the attendees, because if you are on a stage, ordinarily the stage is very far from the grandstand, and people come to the stadium and even leave without seeing the main character. So it is important that for people to feel and connect with you, you have to make rounds and where possible shake hands, where possible have a chit chat with especially the elderly people. Then went to the stage where the formal program started, gave the main address. Once the main address is done, either the TG, which is the Treasurer General or Secretary General, will give the vote of thanks. It doesn't mean the event is done. After the vote of thanks, then national artists.
Okay, so we're up to you give your speech. Thereafter, there's the Treasurer General, Secretary General is there, and they do a vote of thanks.
Yes. Nice.
If I can take you back,
Okay.
as part of your entourage, do you have any security or police officials with you?
I had 4 VIP protectors. 2 came from Pretoria, head office of the police. 2 came from the Eastern Cape. If I may deal with that point, because I had the court, even its ruling, saying it doesn't want to pay much attention to that. So those are called VIP protectors. But the other name, my worship, is close protectors. So close protectors is what we call bodyguards. So SAPS gave me their close protectors who look after the body, bodyguards. They look after the body. So wherever the body is, they must see the body and they must be close to the body. So they are bodyguards, they are close protectors. It's so irritating that you can't even go to a bathroom, because they must first enter the bathroom to check who's in there. From there you go in, they close, they stand by the door. That's how close they have to be, even in such a compromised position.
Mr. Malema, these close protectors or bodyguards from the VIP protection services, are they privately employed or are they members of the South African Police Service?
They were given to me by the South African Police Service.
Over and above the members of the South African Police Service, did you have any private individuals who took care of your safety as well?
No, once the police take over, the private security is not allowed. So if there was any private security in the form of TSS at the stadium, it was given that opportunity by the EFF. It had nothing to do with me. They had to look after EFF events. They have to look after the EFF guests and the attendees. Ordinarily, I think the SGs, the Secretary General, is the one who knows them better than me. Jog a joint operation center requires you to have an accredited security company for your event to be approved.
So now you've given what takes place. Can you explain to us approximately what time you began your address and what followed from it?
Ordinarily, it will be just after 2, and if we are late, it won't be beyond 3 o'clock, so that we allow space for entertainment and equally allow space for people to leave the stadium much early, especially those who are using buses and taxis.
Approximately how many people were in attendance at the stadium that day?
I will say not less than 20,000.
Now, it's common cause that you are now an accused and you face 5 or 6 charges relating to the possession of firearms, ammunition, discharging of the firearm, and endangering the public. Did you shoot with a live round in a proper firearm on that day?
I've never used any firearm. I've never had any ammunition on that day.
When you say never, you mean specifically to 28 July 2018?
Yes, on the day in question.
Were you ever in possession of a...
I just want to make sure I understand your client's evidence. Did you say you never used any type of firearm on that day?
I've never used the word type. I said I've
That's
never
what I
used,
didn't
so
hear
I've
you.
never used a gun. So a gun to me means a weapon that carries live ammunition. So any other thing else is not a gun. I've never used a gun that carries a live ammunition. So if I say a gun, I mean a gun. And there is a difference between a gun and a toy. I've never carried a gun on that day, and ammunition.
So where the state says that you had in your possession a .223 Norinco rifle, did you have such a real rifle in your possession?
I don't understand why the court wants me to help the state make its own case, because no state case has been made here that demonstrate that I carried that kind of weapon you are talking about. My DNA is not found on that weapon. My house was never searched. My workplace was never searched looking for that weapon. I was never questioned about that weapon. When I was sitting here, I heard that they went to find a weapon in someone's premises very far. I don't even know that address. Very far from where I stay. I must come before this court and answer for weapons that cannot be brought anywhere close to my skin or to me. No witness has ever led any evidence that I carried or discharged that kind of weapon. Remember, of all the witnesses that came here, Your Worship, I'm the only eyewitness you have. No one else was there. It's only me. Of all the people who appeared before you, it's only me who is an eyewitness before this court. There's never been. The rest were talking about seen on cell phone, seen on this, on seen on. I was there, and I don't remember carrying that.
Mr. Malema, when he says he should that his DNA was never found, and that's the last day.
And you can correct me if I read back because I do shorthand and memorize the rest. His DNA was not found on the weapon, or any weapon was not searched, and it was not found near in his house or near his skin. No, there's no other witness that testified before this court to say that he carried any weapon, and that he is the only witness, the only eyewitness to the event. He was there. Did I get it?
His house was not searched?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
And they went to premises that he's never agreed to.
Oh, yes, sorry,
Yes.
I didn't. Yes. Let me just record that part. I didn't. You say you heard in court that they went to premises which is not, address is not known to you.
And very far from it. Now, the state also says that if it's not found that you're in possession of the .223 Marinka rifle, you had in your possession a firearm, the make of which is unknown to the state. Did you have any firearm that could shoot live rounds in your possession at the stadium on 28 July 2018?
I did not have any firearm that could shoot live ammunition on the day in question. And no one else can say I had. Not at least those who came before your worship.
Now, in count 2, the state contends that on the same day, in the same stadium, you had in your possession a 1 round of a .223 Remington bullet. Did you have such a live round or any such type of ammunition in your possession on that day?
No.
In count 3, the state alleges that you discharged either this .223 Marinka rifle or a firearm, the make of which is unknown to the state, in a built-up or public area. Did you discharge any such firearm in a built-up or public area?
I've not done so. And when you play the video at some point, I will actually show your worship that a police officer from the VIP protection is actually on that stage with me. It's a office of the court. If I had discharged anything that has got live ammunition in public in the presence of police officer, ordinarily they would have acted on me. But equally, police officers, your worship, especially the VIP protection, they carry with them what is called a pocket book. Why didn't the investigating officer, objective investigating officer, not go and fetch the pocket book of the police? That pocket book, they record everything. It doesn't matter how small that detail can be. You find it in the pocket book of the VIP protector. But equally, no one can come here, like I almost heard the prosecutor or someone say, but it looks like they were saying they were in the car. They were not with you. If they are in a car, they are car guards. They are not bodyguards. Close protectors have to be where the principal is. And I demonstrated, I took it to the extreme, that even in a bathroom, you can't enter before they enter, and once you enter, they stand by the door. That's how close they are.
So now, if I get you correctly, are you saying they were in the car with you?
No, they were in the car with me when we were coming to the stadium.
That's what I'm
Yes, when I went on stage, they were with me on the stage.
Yes.
So they don't remain with the car, they were
Yes.
Yes.
I was unclear because he said then car guards, so I wasn't sure if they were
was
in the
distinguishing
car,
between the two.
same.
Yes.
Yes, so I needed to be clarified for
I'm
you.
trying to differentiate your worship that if they are in the car and there is no principal, they are not bodyguards, they are car guards. They are cutting the car.
Two were with you coming from Pretoria.
2 was with me from Pretoria and 2 from here in the Eastern Cape. I had 4 on that day. 4 police officers with me. Everywhere I went, they were next to my body. And ordinarily on such occasions, the president of the organization becomes a high security risk. You can't leave him and go and sleep in the car like it was alleged at some point.
That was from the people from the video.
Yes.
If I can go then to count 4, Mr. Malema. Count 4 is that you and accused number 2 failed to take reasonable precautions to avoid danger to personal property, in that you had control of a loaded firearm, to wit, a .223 Marinka rifle or a firearm, the make of which was unknown to the state. Did you fail to take such reasonable precautions or have such a firearm in your possession on 28 July 2018 at the stadium?
that stage where it is alleged I was shooting live ammunition from, it is called the dome. It has got a sail, plastic covering it. And if you shoot from that stage with a gun that is pointing up, it is bound to damage that particular stage. The people of the stage came here, told you and this court that the inspection was done by the police. They did the inspection themselves on their stage and all of their properties. None of the properties were damaged, which is a clear demonstration that no live ammunition was shot from that podium. Equally, I've not endangered any life, and I did not have to take any precautionary measures to save life, because I was never in such a position where I can damage life. Where real life ammunition gets fired, human beings, even without looking at where the sound comes from, they go for a cover. Again, I'm standing here to boost a weak, failed case of the state that I've endangered people's life. Where in the video and the evidence of the state do you see any form of evidence that the life of people were endangered? Is it because they are black people, they are bastardized, they are so animal so much that when you shoot, they will not run away?
Please let us not go in that direction and focus on answering the questions posed by Advocate Otis.
On which direction I'm answering? That's my answer. I'm not going to be told on how to answer. I've sat here for 5 years, listened to people critique and assassinate my character. It is my turn now, and the court has got a duty to listen to me. I've listened to everybody. It is my turn now to tell the side of my story, and I plead with the court to be patient. I might be irritating, I might not be liked, but the truth remains the truth, and I will never hide away from it. If the life was in danger, and the life of human beings was in danger, they were going to go for a cover. But because they are black, they are so bastardized, you don't care about their reaction, because anyway, even if it's a live ammunition, they will never go for a cover because they are animals. That's an insinuation that I've been here listening to for the past 5 years.
Mr. Miller, the count 5 is exactly that. I'm just going to read it to you for the comment. It requires a simple yes or no, but it's up to you how you wish to answer it. Count 5 is reckless endangerment to personal property, and it says that on 28 July 2018, when Atomir Sisa Dukazi Stadium in Mdantsane, in the Honorable Courts Division, you unlawfully discharged or otherwise handled a firearm, to wit, a .223 Narinka rifle or a firearm, the make of which is unknown to the state, in a manner likely to injure or endanger the safety or property of the general public attending the 5th Economic Freedom Fighters celebration, residents of Mdantsane and the employees of Gear House, or with reckless disregard for the safety or property of the general public attending the 5th Economic Freedom Fighters celebration, the residents of Mdantsane and Gear House employees. Did you ever endanger any of those class of persons' lives or property?
These people, if their lives were endangered, you mentioned the Mdantsane people. I'm endangering the lives of Mdantsane people. Someone was saying no, because they are all EFF there, maybe they are unable to come forward. They say I've endangered the life of Mdantsane people. Who of Mdantsane people came before this court and said I've endangered their life? Who of the Gear House people, they are not EFF members, who of the Gear House people came before this court, which rejected 174 and said he endangered our life? Who of the service providers of the EFF, who are not members of the EFF, came before this court and said endangered our lives? Who of the journalists who were there enjoying themselves dancing came forward here and said you have endangered our lives? No single person came forward to say I've endangered their lives. So, Your Worship, which case am I answering here? Which is made by who against me that I've endangered their lives? What are they? Are they all of those people scared of the EFF? It's practically impossible. Again, I've been invited into this box to boost a weak case of the state. How do you go and sit your worship and watch a video the same way you watch Muvango and you say people are intimidated on a video? Then Muvango must be very scary for you.
We're going to get to that. Before we go there, please. It's common cause and evidence has really been led by Mr. Hood that you have a firearm license and that you have passed a competency test for a firearm. Is that correct?
I had a firearm when I was almost 17, 18, when I was actually not qualified by age. But because I was the president of the Congress of South African Students and my life was in danger, the ANC had to write a special motivation as to why I should carry a firearm at that age. But since I became the president of the Youth League and now EFF, there's never been a need for me to carry a firearm because I've always had with me the protectors. But competency, I'm very good, competent person and not disqualified by any court to carry a firearm.
Over and above your close security protectors that were with you that day, were there other police officers involved in the scheduling and arrangement of this occasion?
Your Worship, the Joint Operation Center is constituted by different stakeholders. It will involve the medic, it will involve traffic officers, it will involve SAPs, and it will involve the event organizers. And ordinarily, the head of that Joint Operation Center, in most cases, unless otherwise, maybe in big cities, I don't know, the SAPs person will be the head of a Joint Operation Center. There were police in the JOG. JOG is responsible for running, that's why it's operation, running everything. The people who come to sell even outside the stadium have to have the approval of JOG. Everything that goes on in the stadium is a responsibility of JOG. So there were police outside the stadium, there were police inside the stadium, uniformed police, and there were police in the JOG stand that was directly opposite to the stage, watching everything that was happening on the stage, around the stage, and in the stadium.
Those accredited attendees who had the right to be there and to set up and everything, did they have any, did they show any indication that they were in any way affiliated to the EFF? Or, particularly, were they there in their official capacity as members of the SAPS, or were they there to support the EFF in
They are on duty. Actually, the leader of the Joint Operations Center, if he wants to be rude, he will tell the whole team not to leave. They must be the last people to leave at the stadium because, like I said, they are responsible for every little thing that transpires at the stadium. So they were there on duty, including those ones who were looking after me. They were on duty. They were not on holiday. They were not moonlighting.
As I previously alluded to, we're going to show it video 3, but before we begin it, I just need to contextualize it in the sequence of events of that night. Where we see you and other members of the EFF dancing on stage, was that prior to your address or after your address at this
on the video is after my address.
So can you give us a rough estimate of the time?
Well, I think it should be around early hours of the evening, the latest 8 o'clock.
So when we switch on the video now, we're at the stage where you've addressed your SG or TG has thanked you, and then there were celebrations that take place. Mm-hmm. Is that where we are?
Yeah, but I want to explain to your worship, if you are to shoot a live ammunition on the stage where JOG is sitting directly opposite you, live ammunition, there is no way JOG won't pick it up. Its duty is to pick up such things. JOG would have picked up that and then come for whoever has discharged a firearm inside the stadium. Because remember, they are anticipating that a political rivalry, a political opponent, whoever doesn't agree with the EFF might go and cause trouble there. And once they hear that, they're like, okay, it looks like it's happening. That's why police are there, to make sure no one commits crime on the scene. And then, when you look at the video, your worship, look at the reaction of people. I come from the township where crime is very high. When there is a shooting of a gun, we never ask who shot the gun and where it came from. We all go for cover. You go down. Without, whether it's real or not, once it is not warned that a gun is good. That's why even today, in the in the inauguration of the president, they had to tell the audience there's going to be 21 gun salute. Why? So people are not scared. So imagine if you shoot a gun, no one has been told a gun is being shot. There are people on the stage, no one goes for cover. There are people in front of the stage, no one goes for cover. There are people who are live streaming the event, say it never even occurred to us that there was such an activity. How on earth do people, all of them were there, not a single one of them, your worship says, at some point I felt like there was something, but I was not sure. No one says that. But I must still come and answer a question that was, a state, a case on behalf of the state, which the state failed to build. I feel like I'm guilty, and what I'm doing now is to prove my innocence. And if that is the approach, it's against the spirit and the letter of our constitution. I hope we're not there.
Malema, I'm going to ask if the video, can you see it on the computer?
Yeah.
Do you want to step?
I want to...
Do you want to come stand here just for the viewing?
Okay.
So,
And I can ask her to stop
yes.
where I want us to stop.
Please, please. So you tell the operator to stop. So, what's the sound?
You want to sound
Whose voice are we hearing?
That's,
Turn the microphone of the red
oh,
towards you. Thank you.
yeah, that's Mbuyiseni Ndlozi's voice. But the reason why I said stop, I just said to worship, there were people there. So I want the worship to see that there are people, a lot of them there at the stadium before even anything happens.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's important that we put this on record. What you're viewing now on the video is a person dressed in red. In front of that person are all the attendees in front of the stage.
Yes.
Those are that's the crowd that you estimate to be in the thousands. Is that
Yes, yes. Stop, stop. I want the worship to also notice, because a view might be taken that it's just a group of men, they are not scared of anything. There are women on the stage there.
in your immediate vicinity?
On the stage, immediately next to where they say a live ammunition was shot. All these women are members of parliament. They are not from some military command. So they know nothing about guns. Go back. No, play. Allow to play. Stop. So here, Your Worship, there are two people. Is the white guy in front and a black guy at the back. The name of a black guy at the back, his name is Malema. When I was sitting here listening to this case, they say the firearm in question was issued to him by his company. So if that firearm was used here, the person in the papers who is in possession of the firearm in question is Malema. Why is Malema not charged? Why is Malema not called before this court to come and account that why is the firearm issued in your name find itself in East London and there are some cartridges and all of that. I'm being called here to come and answer for a gun that is not issued anywhere in my name. That is not being found in my properties. That hasn't been found in my car. That hasn't been found on my body. A person whose name in the papers of the law, as required by the law, that before a company issues out a firearm, it has to be registered in someone's ex name. When that firearm cartridge is found there, and then that firearm tests positive, the first suspect is supposed to be Malema. But here, I'm with this gentleman here. I don't know what he's doing here, when the man at the back is the one. Stop. You reverse a bit. Let me. Stop. This is a guy from VIP protection.
Which one?
The one that I just stopped.
No,
There's a face, you see a collar. Is that the person?
I can't see what you are looking at. So
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing that
Middle.
this one. This one.
oh,
This one.
The collar that you
Yeah.
see.
you say that is who?
That is
Larry.
no, it's not
Yeah,
Larry.
because-
Larry has gone past.
Yes.
This guy is following at the back of Larry. That's a VIP protector from South African Police Services. I will get his name. Stop. Even after the shooting, the women are still dancing. I get there is some people's lives are endangered. After the so-called shooting, the women are still dancing. So this is a behavioral pattern of a person whose life is being endangered. Let's proceed. Stop. Go back a bit. A little bit. Yeah. Okay. Your Worship, this is Darlene Ove. Is the senior counsel, the lawyer, who is also on the stage where a crime is being committed. Because we are told the real firearm is being shot here and endangering the lives of the people. I'm endangering the life of a senior counsel. And then the senior counsel, because his EFF is scared to report Malema, that Malema endangered my life. I'm just demonstrating to you that it was not just ordinary people. Even a senior counsel is there. His police is now moved to a senior counsel. How would a life of a senior counsel be endangered, knowing the law as he knows it? He doesn't take action about it. Thank you. This is the same person from SAPS, VIP protection.
Suit.
With a black jacket.
Yeah, black jacket, yeah.
Mr. Malema, you've watched the video. You've given an estimation of the amount of people there. Did any one of those people come forward to testify against you that they felt endangered?
No one.
Did anybody in the video react consistent with being scared of anything?
If anything, people are celebrating. Because, of course, it was a day of celebration.
Now, can you then explain to the court what was actually viewed there? When the court saw you with what looked like a firearm on the stage?
It was a toy, my worship. We, in the EFF, from time to time when we celebrate the anniversary of the EFF, there are acts that we put as part of the program to celebrate the anniversary of the EFF. If you look at us in all the songs, we make gestures of a firearm when we sing songs. And that day, we said, as part of the act, we need to bring the cinema toy to demonstrate the shooting as part of the celebration. If your worship pays attention, in the 10th anniversary of the EFF, in FNB Stadium, there was another act. That act was the stage going up. That's an act. So it's part, so every anniversary has got different kind of features to excite and to make it nicer for the people who are in attendance.
Now, in the video one, you
Yeah.
appear to have what looks like a handgun in your hand. Is that a real handgun, your real handgun, or was it a similar toy gun?
Well, it's not a real handgun, because even here there is no any handgun that was brought to this court. So there is in no way I can answer on something that is not even before this court, where they allege that a real handgun. Handgun, you mean pistol? I don't know what's a handgun. All I know is pistol and rifle.
Okay.
Yes. So they were all there.
Now, that handgun, not on the toy rifle, do you have it here?
Yes, I've got it.
Can you show it to the court?
Can I show it to your worship?
You were pointed that you had to go.
A pleasure. No.
As it be clear,
It was clear, Joseph, but
you
never
were
got-
pointed to the
Okay. Even the way to worship, if I were to give you to carry it. it's-
I don't want to endanger anyone.
I don't want to
So
find out
how
why
do
you
I,
hold this.
how do I,
Yeah.
you say I thought you said it's white.
No, it's hidden.
It's a,
Yeah.
don't know.
So the similarities. The similarities are not.
90 degrees up to the season, to the ground.
You know what?
That's correct.
Okay, I don't know how to hand it back to
The
you.
one in the floor.
As long as it's facing down.
I thought face down. You have to take it like that.
If I may.
Yeah.
Now, as you can see, Mr. Malema, it has
How are
a...
you pointing me?
It has a magazine.
Mhm.
You confirm?
Yeah.
And clips in.
Nice.
This one, for
Yeah.
court purposes, is empty.
Yeah.
So that's safe.
We took out the plans from the magazine.
It's empty. No,
Yeah.
It's to be empty to come to
Yeah.
court.
Yeah.
Magazine, as we saw.
At the back. Yeah. Pull it. Yeah.
So you're doing what now? You're doing lots of
That's
stuff that I'm
the
not
copy
on.
mechanism, Your Worship, of the
We're just making sure.
which would
That's
lift the round into the chamber,
Mm.
as you saw in the video. And then what I also wanted to show you, Mr. Malema, is it has a retractable
Yeah,
That's what they would
you can extend it, yeah, yeah.
You're not an expert, but this is what you had in your possession on that day, is that true?
Absolutely. And the idea is to create an impression of a real gun so that it doesn't come out in a very clumsy way. Your Worship, they do this in all the movies. When you watch a movie, you feel like it's a real gun. Does it make it a real gun because it sounds like a real gun? It can't be correct. By just looking at it here, especially Your Worship, if we had not been taken through the education that we have been taken through by the other ballistic witness, by looking at it ordinarily would have just concluded that it is a firearm and there is no way a toy gun can look like that. Because once we say a toy gun, what comes into our mind is those ones that we buy for our kids which use water.
Now, Mr. Malema, you were in court and the investigating officer, Colonel Victor, testified that on stage with the Swartboys. Mr. Swartboy testified that on stage with you were not 4 but 5 VIP protection officers from the SAPS.
Yeah.
Would you accept that?
Not 5, 4. I had 2 from Joburg, 2 from here.
But what I want to ask
Joburg, I mean Pretoria.
is, whilst you were there, was there any attempt to arrest you or charge you with any possible criminal offence?
I don't know, no one came to us. There was, Your Worship, there was nothing that warranted any police involvement. That's why the head of JOG said to you, Your Worship, that it was one of the most successful, peaceful events. He even went to sleep. He was the last one to leave, went to sleep so satisfied. And not only that, he says to you, we were working with Marshal Dlamini from the EFF. We have never seen such a cooperative man from the beginning to the end. These are the people now who must be projected by people who watch on TV as potential criminals. But the people who were with us there say these kids are the well-behaved kids. We sat with them the whole day, the whole night. Someone must look at us on some camera, which even the person who took that video is not here to testify to, and say on the basis of that, these are bad people.
Were you ever taken for powder residue tests on your hands, clothing, or body?
Colonel Swartboy has never spoken to me. I can't even point you who's Colonel Swartboy. No one has ever come to me. If there is a person who came to me, Your Worship, it's a person called Govender or something, yeah. And then we met at the Hawks or something. We met in Pretoria with Govender. Govender is the one who told me there was this story and all of that. Do you want to take a statement? I said, make a statement. I said, no. And then that was the end of it. No powder was tested on me. No premises of mine were searched. No one has ever said to me, we want to question you. Your Worship, is there on record in the papers that I've got a firearm? So if they say Malema shot a firearm, the first immediate thing, if you're dealing with an honest, objective process, would have been Malema's personal firearm must be handed over for testing. Because we know it's not disputed. We know for a fact that he's got a firearm. What if he shot his own firearm there? So his firearm, when you deal with a person who discharged a firearm in public and he's got a licensed firearm, the first thing you do is to take his firearm and go and do ballistics on it, because that alone is sufficient to say this is the one that was discharged. What makes matters worse, Your Worship, they said there was a pistol there, and my license tells them he's got a pistol. What if that pistol of mine is the one that was discharged there? For 5 years I'm standing before you now. It has never been taken for a test. my pistol that is there, recorded lawfully. They say you are carrying a pistol, which they never brought to you yet, not even a toy, and they know I've got a pistol. They never say hand over your pistol so that we can test it if it's not the one that was discharged at Sisa Dugashe Stadium.
Now, you've said that nobody cowered or ran away, felt threatened. I need to ask you, sir, are you aware of any damage caused by any projectile from any of these alleged shots, either from the handgun and or the rifle?
No damage at all. I mean, the gear house people came here, and the majority of that property which was there is from gear house. I remember my worship asking them if them taking a stand here will not compromise their business. They answered no, and I'm happy to report to the worship that they took a stand here. We're just from an election now. They provided the stage and sound to our last rally in Polokwane, and they did the same at the FNB Stadium even after testifying here. Why? They never lied about anything. They told the truth as they know it, and we have no reason why we should fight with people who go and seek to help the court to arrive at a proper conclusion.
Now, you've explained to the court that you are proficient in shooting. Can you think of any possible explanation for how a cartridge was found in excess of 20 meters away from where you alleged to have stood?
I can only answer for what I've given to my Lord to check and test. Those things of cartridges and rifles and it's not part of my business. You are not going to find a gun in another man's house and come and ask me. Asking me about a gun you found in another man's house. I'm not going to answer that. No one is going to ask me questions about something that was never found on me, about something that was never demonstrated any form of evidence before this worship as evidence against me. I've told this court, and this court in its judgment of 174 said, you can't say it's a mere toy and I take it as a mere toy without any form of evidence of a mere toy. I thought the honors were on the state because they are the ones who are alleging to prove that this is the real gun that this guy used and demonstrate why. But I'm here. The court said you can't say it's a mere toy and I accept it. Your worship, you said you can't take a weight of a mere toy. I brought the real stuff, not mere, not a rumor, real stuff.
Not the toy.
No, the real toy.
Is there anything else that you want to tell this court?
Well, I don't know, your worship, why is accused 2 not released on 174. I don't know why accused 2 is actually with me. Let me tell your worship what he doesn't know. Accused number 2 and Larry Mabunda were working for the same company. So if you say you're charging accused number 2 on the basis that he possibly somehow handed over the gun to me, you didn't have to speculate anything. The most suspicious suspect is Larry Mabunda on that video, who the gun was issued out in his name. And the gun that was issued out in his name is the gun in question now. So, meaning on that day, that gun was with Larry Mabunda. If it was not with him, Larry Mabunda ought to tell the court, where was that gun? Why was Larry Mabunda not charged? And an innocent man gets charged. I don't understand. And no one has ever said, accused number 2 has handed over the gun to me. If there was one witness who, when the video was now played, said, oh, I realize I was wrong to say he handed it over to me. Accused number 2 and accused number 0, Larry Mabunda, they are with me. In that picture is both of them coming to me. Why is it conclusive that the white man on the picture is the one who's charged? It's for obvious reason. It's a white man who's going to turn state witness against him. That was the intention. Little did they know that he's not a white man, it's not a black man, it's a South African who stand by the truth. They wanted him to sell me out. That's why they charged him, and they couldn't charge the one of the same skin with me, because they will use their skin to connive against the truth. Put a white man with him, the white man will sell him out. Little did they know that it's a soldier who dies with his boots on. So there's nothing wrong that this accused number 2 did in all respect. If anything, the police should have questioned the police that they have deployed, both in uniform and in VIP protection. No police officer was there, came here and said there was such an incident. After that, my lord, after this incident, when the masses left, you see where the tent was. It's not food. That tent is not a food tent. It's a VIP area. So when everybody left, we then retreated into that marquee. We stayed there and left around 2 a.m. That's how much there was no trouble.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just summarizing the last part of what you said, just a minute. Advocate Matthews, cross-examination.
Thank you. Did accused number 2 hand you a firearm on
Nothing.
the stage on the night in question?
Did not hand over a firearm to me on the stage or at any time anywhere.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Advocate Caesar, is the state ready for cross-examination today?
Bishop, I'm still writing. We should also like to listen again to the evidence of Mr. Malema as soon as we adjourn, because it went so fast and I lost some of the stuff that he testified.
So, at this stage, are we going to listen or are we asking that we
I'm asking us to
postpone?
postpone it till tomorrow, Your Worship. I don't know.
Look, there's so much I can tolerate and there's always time for a good laugh, but not disrespecting both, please. Okay? Both ways, to the state as well as the defense.
Just to add, Your Worship, it's already 5 past 3. There's no way I'll be able to finish Mr. Malema within such a short space of time. So I would have to leave this evidence hanging until tomorrow. So I would suggest that we start afresh tomorrow.
Okay, Mr. Malema, you do know the flip side of the coin now is you are under cross-examination, which means you can't really speak to counsel until it's finished. So that's the downside of being postponed whilst under cross-examination.
I've accepted.
Yeah, so I also work in trust, and there's nothing that can change because the state hasn't started, so there's nothing much that can happen. Oh, sorry, you may stand.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, can I just be frank and ask, do you want to utilize tomorrow's date, or are there events people want to attend to today? Or I'm in your hands on that aspect. Sorry?
We here for tomorrow.
Nothing has changed by wanting to be anywhere else.
No, no. Definitely.
So your client is rising, both of you. Oh, you
No, I
want
was
to-
just saying we missed the inauguration because we respect this person.
Yes, we will discuss that after the court cases tonight. Tomorrow is the 20th. Alright, accused 1 and 2 then. The matter at this stage is postponed until tomorrow, being the 20th of June, for us to start at 9 a.m. Bail extended. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Please take a seat. Is the court put back with us so I just want to endorse. Thank you. Thank you. Then the court will adjourn until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you.